Hello, I'm Ravikant Sista. I'm currently pursuing PGDM in Big Data Analytics at Goa Institute of Management. As part of the evaluation, I have been given this dataset, which is a banking dataset, which includes the columns like the bank category, the number of accounts in the rural and urban region, the number of RuPay debit cards, balance in the accounts, etc. So by using these existing columns, I have created a set of five key performance indicators to this dataset, which are highlighted in the yellow. And also, I've created two additional bank categories, which is the foreign banks and the cooperative banks, by using the data available in the internet by making some assumptions and calculations. So overall, this is the data set which we have, and let's try to understand what insights we can draw from this data set. So the first KPI is the average balance account, which is obtained by dividing the balance in the total balance available in all the accounts within a total number of accounts. So typically, I have divided the column F2, the column F with column B. So we can observe the average balance in the public sector bank is around 1700 to 1800, whereas for the foreign banks it's very high, which is coming near 50,000. So the next KPI is the zero balance account rate, which is the ratio of the number of accounts having zero balance, which is coming around 4 crore 48 lakhs out of the total 17 crore 50 lakhs. So the zero balance account rate is around 25% for the public sector bank, and it's typically very low for the foreign banks. Maybe they do not allow the zero. They do not issue the zero balance accounts as such. The next KPI is the RuPay debit card penetration, which can be obtained by dividing the number of accounts having the RuPay cards to the total number of accounts. So 14 crore 65 lakh out of 17 crore 50 lakhs. So the ratio is coming out to be 83.7%. And similarly, we can see for private banks, it's the highest. So most of the private banks have been issuing the RuPay debit card, and for the foreign banks, it's quite low. So they might be using the other cards uh, which are available. So urban to rural account ratio. This is a simple KPI which can be obtained by dividing the urban number of accounts in urban to the number of accounts in the rural region. So uh, it's quite high in the foreign banks. So this indicates that the number of people living in the urban area, the number of branches, or the number of accounts in the urban region are very higher, 72 times higher than the number of accounts in the rural region. And also the cooperative banks, it's the lowest, which indicates that the number of accounts in the rural is comparatively much higher than the number of accounts in the urban region. The next thing is the Aadhaar seeding rate, which is the ratio of Aadhaar seeding by the total number of accounts. So it's around close to 100% for the foreign banks. So typically all of the accounts uh, issued by these foreign banks have to be linked with Aadhaar. But in public banks, it's around 50%, and cooperative banks, it's only 30%. So only 30% of the total number of accounts have been linked with Aadhaar. So these insights I have included in the Power BI as well. So you can see the first thing is the average balance per account, uh, which is which you have seen is around 50,000 for the foreign banks and 1700 for other banks. So the next KPI is the RuPay debit card. So we have seen that RuPay debit cards are quite high for the public sector bank, followed by the regional rural bank and the cooperative banks. And it's very low for the foreign banks. So, this graph indicates the some number of accounts with zero balance. We have seen the zero balance are very minimal for the foreign banks and are very high for the public sector banks. So the urban to rural ratio for the foreign banks is close to 100%, which you have seen in the data set. This has been indicated using the pie chart, and this is the Aadhaar seeding rate. So for the foreign banks, it's quite high, followed by the public sector bank and private banks and regional rural banks. So this is the analysis which I have done with the data set, included all the essential KPIs and performed the analysis. Thank you.